Good day. I'm Roberta Winters, President of the League of Women Voters of Radnor Township, and today I'm very fortunate to have with me Michelle Leonard, who is a Radnor parent, a teacher, and also the PTO, PTSA coordinator for special initiatives and projects in the Radnor Township School District. We have been working together for quite a while, perhaps over a year, on public health crisis that exists right here in Radnor. Michelle, would you like to share a few minutes about what we've been doing?
As a parent and teacher, I know how important sleep is. When the American Academy of Pediatrics developed their recommendations, I took notice, as did other parents, especially those of us who have middle school and high school students. We know firsthand what it is like to deal with moody, tough-to-wake-up kids and those that sleep all weekend and stay up all night. But we can't do it alone. We join together with other members of the PTOs and parent groups in the area, school administrators, and the League of Women Voters to help educate people. That's why we're here today, to share what we've learned.
By pooling our resources, we were able to provide a forum entitled Sleep in the Adolescent Brain last February. Seems like just last Friday.
That's right. And thanks to pooling our resources, we were able to have Judith Owens, a nationally recognized sleep expert, and Catherine Dalsgaard, a child psychologist from Children's Hospital, to help us learn more.
Well, just like our mothers always told us, sleep is important. Now we know why. For example, getting enough quality sleep at the right time can help people with their mental health, with their physical health, the quality of their life, and even their safety.
Exactly. But it's not just how much sleep, it's appropriately timed sleep. And the only thing to replace sleep is more sleep.
What I was surprised to learn is how difficult it is to get enough sleep, and that affects our mental health. Not having enough sleep or insufficient sleep is tied to being, as you said, moody, misbehaving, depressed, and even having thoughts of suicide. Research has even shown us that it's tied to substance abuse. And these are all issues we have right here in Radnor.
Yes, and lack of sleep is also tied to a lot of physical issues that we experience, like weight gain. When we're tired, we tend to eat more and make bad choices in what we eat. We exercise less and then end up with heart issues and even diabetes.
Well, sleep deprivation becomes part of a vicious cycle because when you get obese, you eat more, and then it gets connected with sleep apnea that interrupts your sleep, and on and on and on. Not a good choice.
No. On the bright side, though, adequate sleep does make a difference. Kids who get enough sleep get better grades, are easier to live with, and even have better prospects for making money when they get older.
That's great, Michelle. And you know, their mental health improves too. Teens who get 8 or more hours of sleep are less likely to even do drugs, become depressed, or act out.
That's right, and the facts that Dr. Owens shared about drowsy driving were really eye-opening to me. I'll have a student driving in a couple of years, and after listening to her, who wants sleepy kids on the road? Fatigue-related driving accounts for half the accidents for kids 16 to 25 years old. And most of our kids are driving while drowsy. They get behind the wheel when they're asleep, sleepy still in the morning or at night, and that's like driving after drinking 3 to 4 beers. That's alarming.
I think I want to stay off the road even more now. As a parent, safety has been a priority for me. Kids who sleep enough are less likely to get hurt. They have fewer sports accidents even. What coach or parent wouldn't like their kid to have fewer injuries when they're playing on the athletic fields?
Exactly, and I think that's why medical professionals have tried to underscore the problem and identify this as the public health issue that it is, and also associate with other chronic health problems.
There is actually a scientific basis for this issue too. It's what's called circadian rhythms. That's based on a 24-hour day and night cycle, which we all experience, and our body is regulated according to that cycle. And it's also dependent upon sunlight and temperature. We know how we feel in December versus how we feel in June.
Exactly. We all have daily ups and downs, and sometimes we're more alert than others.
Well, the big issue with the circadian rhythms is that they actually shift when puberty begins. Instead of going to bed and getting up like they did when they were in kindergarten or first grade, or like we do now that we're adults, their body wants to stay up all night and sleep later in the morning.
Exactly, and we need to be aware of that shift because it impacts how they cope and also, as parents, how we deal with our kids.
You bet. We've all seen our high school kids who want to sleep all day. And even on weekends, you can't seem to get them out of bed.
And what's even worse is that sleeping in doesn't help. It's like being jet lagged every day. Our kids are sleepy, and then they don't do well in school and can end up feeling depressed.
Well, we've all heard about those power naps, though. They can help in the short term, but then again, they need to be short. In a place where there's less light and there's very little noise, and taken well before bedtime. But they are a help for just a brief bit of time.
And another thing besides naps, sometimes people will turn to caffeine. Like most of us, we all like a cup of coffee sometimes, or some chocolate, or a Coke to perk us up when we're sleepy. Caffeine does increase alertness, but it does come with other side effects, like less coordination, insomnia, and headaches. There is also evidence to indicate that it can be a gateway to other drugs or high caffeine beverages and stimulants.
Well, the bottom line is adolescents need to get 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep to function well, and it's just not happening. A lot of our kids, in fact, more than half of our seniors are getting less than 6 hours of sleep every day.
Yikes. Not good. But there are things that you and I can do as parents. A big one is to turn off all those screens. Computers, laptops, iPhones. They stimulate the brain, create stress, and the light can also disrupt the sleep cycle.
Well, that's not easy. I've seen how kids operate. They seem to be connected to those devices. They're sharing with their friends, they're doing their homework on them, they're playing video games. Even some of their school books are on their computers, and they read pleasure books online. Isn't there anything else we can do?
There are things the schools can do too. Teachers can teach about sleep. It should be part of our health curriculums, just like eating healthy, exercising, and those things. Schedules can also be adjusted, and flexibility can be provided by instruction that uses both in-school time supplemented with online time at home.
Well, a trend I've been seeing and hearing about is a community effort to adjust school start times.
It's not a wild idea. It's based on what the medical profession has learned. Schools work best for most adolescents when it begins after 8:30. It's consistent with their circadian rhythms of teens, and they'll do better academically, physically, and mentally. They'll get the critical REM sleep they need.
This has a big payoff. Kids will have fewer accidents. They may even go to the school nurse less. They'll
Right.
maybe do better in school, all the things we want for our kids.
And getting to school to start later is no easy matter. We need to look at buses, sports programs, childcare needs, and more.
You're absolutely right. This could be a big headache. It's not going to be easy, but it's so important. There's a lot of information out there that not only describes the problem, but also some of the solutions. You can check those out. They're on that Radnor website. And with all of us, parents, teachers, administrators, league members, medical professionals, and of course the students working together, we can probably make a difference.
Definitely. I want to thank the League and others who have contributed to our efforts.
My thanks to you too, Michelle, for the passion you bring to this task. It's a pleasure to work with you and others throughout the area on figuring out what we need to do to help our adolescents get more sleep and function better day to day in every way. In the meantime, we'd like to thank you, our audience, for tuning in and learning more about sleep and how important it is for our children in middle school and high school to get adequate amounts so they can do better in school, act better around the house, and be safer every day in every way. So thank you again. And in the meantime, we hope you have some sweet dreams.